the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming to the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming to the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money, money, money. All you got is money. Being wealthy. I know you like Kanye West said, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's more. You know why money so much? Why you get up a little more? Yeah, I do think about all the things that you think. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. H Cortez.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class. We're coming to you live from the Black Real Estate School studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, if you are interested at all in learning more about how to invest in real estate, then you want to go to blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com. Again, that's blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com. And that doesn't matter which method you want to use, whether it is wholesaling, whether it is buy and sell, multifamilies, or multi-unit properties, whether it is foreclosures, whether it is bank or REO bank real estate owned, or traditional methods of investing, or tax liens, or it don't matter, right? My man Andre Hatchett over there is an expert in all of these different strategies, and what he doesn't do really well, he brings other experts in to teach classes on how to become proficient in the area of real estate investing. So if you're serious about learning how to be a real estate investor, go to blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com to learn more about the Black Real Estate School. So as I mentioned, I am your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. It is truly an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege, and I count it a blessing to come to you guys each and every morning. And I thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Facebook, for some reason, blocked me from going live on my other profile. I think it's because I put a promo video up for my basketball training academy, which starts this weekend, and that promo video had some copywritten material in it. So maybe if I go take that down, we will be okay for tomorrow's show. Nonetheless, we are here because I refuse to be denied. So let me just let you know, if you're checking us out on YouTube, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then grab the link and share it on your favorite social media platform, and let's get other people involved in this conversation. And leave me a comment, man. Let me know how you think the show is, what I can improve, what I can do better, what I should take away. I'm always trying to get better, and I'm always competing with myself from yesterday, trying to get better and better day by day. And the same thing with you guys on Facebook. Do me a huge favor. I know we're on a different profile, but go ahead and share the stream anyway. On your timeline, invite some folks, share it on your favorite in your favorite group, and because we know that there are people who want to be start their day with positive energy, and then the likes and the hearts and the thumbs up, that tells Facebook that you like this sort of content, and they will give preference to this sort of content versus world star fights and stuff like that, right? So appreciate you guys for hanging in there and coming over. Just in case you stumbled up on the show on accident, especially since we're on a new profile that I've never done the show on, my Hernando Cortez Springer profile. So you may be tuning in talking about, what is this guy talking about? Who is this guy? I want to let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for risers and grinders only, man. If you're ready to get up, get out, and get something this morning, then this is your show. This show is for legacy builders. If you are hustling for your last name, you're trying to build a legacy for your family, you're trying to create something for your future descendants, and this is your show. This show is for those who are serious about building wealth. If you know deep down inside you got the discipline to build wealth, you got the desire, you got the will, you got the strength, the courage, right? But maybe you lack a game plan. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need a community of people to help push you, prod you, pull you, push you, guide you along the way, hold you accountable, then this is your show, because that is exactly what we do each and every morning here on Talk Money in the Morning Live. So if that's you, this is your show. On the other hand, who is this show not for? This show is not for fake phonies. The show is not for perennial welfare recipients. This show is not for those who have a problem with money. This show is not for those who think that money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, wealthy people are snobs. If you are not the type of person who thinks about your economy and you're too busy focusing on the economy, then this is not your show. If you are not the type of person that wants to take action steps to change the future of your next generation, this is not your show. And like I tell you each and every morning, I do not have a problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you having a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. Do not let my aspirations rub you the wrong way, right? If you are content and satisfied with where you are, more power to you. I am not. Right? I am going after greater things. I am shooting for the stars. So if I fall short, I land on the moon. Point blank, period. If that's you, this is your show. And if you've never seen a future billionaire before, and yes, that's billion with a B, then I want you to take a screenshot. Jeez, because you're looking at one right now. And I advise you, instead of watching, to get in the game. Because if you're watching me become a billionaire, chances are you're not taking any actions to improve your life any way, shape, or form. Today's show is brought to you by Project 1000, guys. If you are serious about taking your finances to another level, then I want you to think about joining our personal financial success membership. Project 1000 is helping 1,000 families in 2017 start their own business, get out of debt, free up the cash that they need to start investing. And we also provide investment education so that you understand how these things work, right? Project 1000. So if that's you, comment Project 1000 below. I'll get you some more information, or send me a private message and I'll get you some more information. So today we're on part 2 of mental laws of success, right? We are conducting a little bit of a study from this book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. We're talking about the mental habits that you need in order to be successful at anything, not just successful at building wealth, but successful at anything. You have to have some mental habits. Just as there are physical laws that govern the physical world. Black James, I see you. As soon as we end the show, I'll get you some information on Project 1000. Just as there are laws that govern the physical world, there are also laws that govern there are universal laws that govern the universe, that govern the unseen world, right? And the reason we can't have the type of success that we want is because we are neglecting these laws that govern the unseen. Point blank, period. We are neglecting the laws that govern the unseen. So for instance, if I walk on top of this roof and I start getting close to the edge of this roof, there is a mental law that calls gravity that will force me to heighten all of my senses, to walk gingerly, to be careful not to fall, because I know what will happen. But because we don't understand the laws that govern the unseen, we're trying to achieve success. And we should be walking gingerly down certain paths, but we're not, because we're not aware of the laws that govern those paths. That would be just like me getting on this roof, being unaware of gravity, and then walking off the edge and hoping something good would come of that, right? Hoping I would develop wings and not fall into my death, right? That's what we're doing with our pursuits for success, wealth, happiness, joy. We're walking along the edges of some different platforms from different places in our lives, and we don't understand the rules that govern those platforms and those places in our lives. And as a result, we're constantly falling off the roof, and gravity is taking a hold and causing us to plummet, right? So I want you to understand the mental laws that govern the unseen, because these are the laws that will propel you to success. Ask any successful person why they're successful, and chances are they will stumble to get you there, or to get you an answer, because we know what we did to get the success. We know the actions that we took, but it wasn't the actions that got us success. It was the subscription to a certain set of mental laws that govern the unseen that really did the trick. Right? So successful people will always give you a couple things that they did, but what you really want to know is why they did them. See, ask anybody who's attained a lot of money and success. Ask a lot of people who got a lot of joy in their life, and you can ask them what they've done to get that joy. But just because you know what they've done and you go out and do it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have the same level of joy in your life unless you understand fully why they did it. So you have to understand the laws that govern the unseen. You have to understand why they did it. And these laws literally have to become a part of who you are. Now, I will tell you this. These laws really are a part of who you are, but because you're unaware, you are not using these laws effectively. You're not abiding by these laws to get what you want. See, you're letting the laws operate in your life on default. No, everything that you do, if you want to be successful, you have to do with the right intentions. So you have to literally understand these laws and intentionally apply them in a way that you will have success. So we went over mental law number 1, which is the law that says what you think upon grows. Right? That was yesterday. What you think upon grows. As a man thinketh, or I say it this way, you get what you focus on, right? What you're constantly thinking on grows. What you're constantly focusing on, you start to attract those things into your life, the things that you will need to make those things manifest because you're focused on those. So when I say that these mental laws are operating in your life, but you're letting them operate by default, meaning if you're not conscious of what you're focusing on, oh, and there goes Facebook with some BS, man. They literally trying to kill us with this bull crap, man. So let's see if I can jump Facebook back on real quick. Sorry, guys. No, I don't want to explain. Skip, man. Where did they? Now they want to give me a tutorial on how to do a live stream. Just crazy, man. So oh crap. And then I actually did something wrong. So now I have to get this thing set up a different way because, let's see. Facebook is giving me this morning, man. I really can't believe we are tripping out. All right, YouTube, my bad, man. My bad. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right. So yeah, Facebook just kicked me off, man, for no reason. They really bugging out this morning. But we're talking about the mental laws of success. We're gonna move right along. As a man thinketh, or what you think upon grows, or what you focus on is what you get, what you pull, what you attract into your life. The book talked about us literally being magnets, and we attract those things that we think on all the time. And if you guys want to jump over to YouTube, go to Financial Health Mentor on YouTube. YouTube.com/financial health mentor, just in case Facebook keeps giving us the gas face, right? So it talks about us being magnets and us having the ability to attract those things that we want in our lives by the way that we think. And if you don't know this, then you will start thinking, you'll let your thinking run rampant, and whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're focusing on all the time, you start attracting that into your life. So if you're the type of person who really don't put your thought process in check and you think negative all the time, you're constantly attracting negativity into your life, right? So these mental laws you have to be aware of. Remember, these are the laws that govern the unseen realm, and everything that is created three times. It's first created in the unseen, then it's created on paper, then it's created in reality. So you have to seriously be conscious of your mental thought process, because what you think upon grows. You get what you focus on. Mental law number 2 is a law of cause and effect. Guys, your thoughts are the cause and your conditions are the effect. Your thoughts are the cause and your conditions are the effect. When you get to a place in your life when you realize that the condition that you are living in right now, that you are existing in right now, was caused by your thought process and your thought process alone, you will be able to change in the blink of an eye. You will be able to change in a blink of an eye based on those, because you'll be able to change your thinking in the blink of an eye. Give me 1 second. I'm going to jump over to Facebook and again share that link from the live feed again. So sorry about that. Let me go grab it real quick. It's throwing my thought process off. I'm sorry, guys. In YouTube, you guys didn't. We don't have that many problems on YouTube, but we have a lot of people are watching the show live on Facebook. So let me just grab this link, throw it in my other profile real quick, and see if those. There we go. Link address. This is the craziest thing ever, but we will not lose. I do, right? How can a winner lose? I'm a winner. All right. 1 quick second, YouTube, and we'll get these Facebook guys back squared away. All right, there we go. It's crazy, but when you don't own and control your own platforms, then these are the sorts of things that can happen to you. These are the sorts of things that you have to deal with when you don't own and control. There we go. So mental law number 1 is what you think upon grows, or what you focus on is what you're bringing into your life. As a man thinketh, so is he. Mental law number 2, the law of cause and effect. You cause the conditions that you currently exist in with your thought process. You cause those conditions, right? And then law number 3, real quick before we get into law number 3, let's go over our daily proverb or our daily quote of today. And I'm just going to give you one because this whole snafu is, I don't even know where my quote is for the day. But this is one of my all-time favorites. It says, in order to go fast, you go alone. But to go far, we go together. So to go fast, go alone. But to go far, go together. And my plan is to go far, and that's why I'm attracting the right people in my life to go together with, so we can lean on each other as we go throughout this journey called life. And we're going far in our finances, far in our joy, far in our peace, far in our happiness, far on our spiritual walks. And we have to do that together if we're ever going to get anywhere. Because if I wanted to go fast, I could leave my family right now and I could just take off and focus on me, 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 me. But that's going fast, and that won't get me very far. My plan is to go far, and I know in order to go far, we have to do that together. So today's daily quote or proverb is brought to you by Solid Foundation Athletic Academy. If you're serious about getting your young athletes trained up, we train children from 4th grade on up. High intensity training. Most kids have to actually get in shape before they can come work out with us because it's very high intense. And we're running a program called Basketball Strong, where the focus is to get bigger, stronger, faster as it relates to being more effective as a basketball player. So go to solidfoundationathletics.com, or you can call us at 314-874-6887 and get the details on where and when we will be training this Sunday, 4:30 to 6:30. At the Mulan Shrine Center, 12525 Fifi Road. So solidfoundationathletics.com, and you can go over to the fan page at Solid Foundation Athletic Academy to learn more. So we're right into mental law number 3. So mental law number 3 is the law of use or lose. Use or lose. Right? And we talk about this all the time. When we talked about investing in yourself, we're talking about building and growing that muscle that we call a brain. And if you don't exercise that muscle actually atrophies or shrinks. Well, this is where that comes from. Here's the law. To achieve a standard of excellence, to accomplish anything extraordinary, means aiming high. It means being disciplined and willing to devote long hours to the task at hand. Intelligent practice is the price of proficiency. Success is often a statistical event. Prosperity is a spiritual idea of excellence. And like any form of excellence or superiority, it requires time and love and care. It is the secret of attainment. Like physical effort, thought control is entirely a matter of intelligent practice. You must use your courage or it will desert you. You must use your determination or it will leave you. You must use your power of decision or soon you will find that you have none. I'm gonna read that last part one more time. Like physical effort, thought control is entirely a matter of intelligent practice. You must use your courage or it will desert you. You must use your determination or it will leave you. You must use your power of decision or soon you will find that you have none. See, this is a mental law that you have to put into practice daily, right? Use it or lose it. We've all known people who've had their arm or leg in a cast, right? And when they get that arm or leg out of the cast, that arm is literally smaller than the other. Why? Because you are limited in mobility. You didn't have the ability to use that muscle. And because you didn't use it, it literally shrank. See, your body runs on autopilot and your body is always trying to be efficient as possible. So what does that mean? That means if you don't have the ability to use a limb or a muscle, your body automatically says, hey, we don't have the ability to use it. Why are we going to continue to send nourishment over there to keep it growing, to keep it healthy? We can use that excess nourishment to build up the rest of the body, because if we're missing one limb, we're going to need the other limb to be stronger. Same way with everything else. All of these mental laws, everything atrophies if you don't use it. Everything breaks down if you don't exercise it. So your skill sets, will deteriorate if you don't use it. I don't care if a basketball player is 21, 22 years in his prime. He goes 6 or 7 months without playing ball. His skills start to deteriorate, right? Your success habits, your drive can deteriorate, can atrophy. Your motivation, your determination can atrophy. Your passion can atrophy, can literally shrink if you're not constantly putting these things into practice, if you're not constantly exercising these things. So you have to be extremely careful about this mental law in particular. If you want to be successful, then all of the things that it takes to be successful, all of the habits that you need to be successful, you have to exercise those habits daily. You have to exercise those habits monthly, weekly. You have to constantly be in use of the gifts and the talents and the abilities that you have. Otherwise, those things will atrophy. They will shrivel up. They will shrink. Point blank, period. The law of use or lose. The law of success. You see people get a little momentum and success, and then they fall off, and the success wanes or fades out. It's usually because they stop doing the things and the mental capacity that they were doing that got them to have the success that they were having. So you don't ever want to stop these the direct use of these mental laws. Make them become a part of you and use them with full intention. Mental law number 3, use it or lose it, baby. If you don't use these muscles, the muscle of exercising courage, if you don't use the muscle of exercising discipline, if you don't use the muscle of exercising your determination, your ability or your power to make decisions, all of those things will fade away and you will not have access, or you will start limiting your ability to use those things. Your brain atrophies if you don't use it. And a lot of people are thinking that, hey, I'm using my brain daily. No, you're not. If you're not reading, stretching, and growing, if you're not constantly introducing yourself to new things, if you're not constantly introducing yourself to new places, if you're not constantly reading and developing new habits, you're not using or stretching that muscle called a brain. 90% of what we do on autopilot from muscle memory. So it doesn't take brain power to do that stuff. You have to be intentionally stretching your brain, giving it new information, making it think differently, putting it in new environments under new situations. And you do that by the places you go, the people you associate with, and the books that you read. If you're constantly holding conversations with the same people and they talk about the same stuff all the time, they're not stretching your capacity to think because they're talking the same stuff all the time. That's why you have to constantly put yourself around new and different people, because those different thought processes, even when you disagree, causes you to stretch your brain so that you can grow. Right? So law number 1 is as you think, what you think upon grows, or as a man think it, or as a woman think it, so that they become, or I like to say, what you get, what you focus on. Number 2 is the laws of cause and effect. Your thought process, the way you think, is the cause. The effect is your condition. If you ever want to understand what your thought process truly is, look at the conditions of your life right now. Look at the conditions of your life right now, and that is what dictates how your thought process has been the last month, the last year, the last 5 years, the last 10 years, because it was those thought processes that was the cause of your current condition. And then law number 3, use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. If you're not using these laws and these things in a positive way, then you will lose it. You will regress. You will stop growing and you will start dying. We talked about there's only 2 states of existence on this planet. You're either growing or you're dying, period. There's nothing in between. You're either growing or you're dying. There's nothing in between, guys. So now on to law number 4. Law number 4 is the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence says this: Your thoughts are the prophets of the future. They can predict what to expect before it happens. Why? Because you are basically a thinker, a feeler, a dreamer. What you think, feel, and dream flows inward, then outward. The basic law is first within, then without. The law of correspondence makes it possible for you to change undesirable conditions, enables you to become the person you truly want to be. It requires nothing more than the ability to control your thoughts so they will correspond to the desired conditions and objectives that you have set for yourself. If it is success that you seek, you must first develop a success consciousness. If it is success that you seek, you must first develop a success consciousness, right? We talk about it all the time on this show, guys. You must first become so that you can do, so that you can have, right? See, a lot of people are trying to do the things that millionaires do so that they can become a millionaire. But they're missing this mental law of correspondence. This law of correspondence says everything on the outward you is a direct correlation or corresponds to the things that are within you. So in order to manifest a lifestyle of a millionaire, you first must become a millionaire within. You become first, then you do so that you can have. You become first, then you do so that you can have. You become first, then you do so that you can have. Right? So we talked about some of the habits that I've been studying billionaires. Billionaires read 5 books a month. So I'm becoming a billionaire. I'm increasing the amount of books that I read. Now, so far, 2 months in a row, I've fallen short. Right? I'm reading 2 books a month, and I need to get that to 5 because billionaires have certain habits. Millionaires have certain habits. You don't become a millionaire first and then start doing the things that make you a millionaire. No, you actually become that first. Then you do those things that millionaires do. Then you manifest the lifestyle of a millionaire. You manifest the bank account of a millionaire. So the law of correspondence says you have to become, right? You have to become within first the person that you need to be in order to do the things you need to do to have what you need to have. You have to become first, then you can start doing the things that need to be done so you can have the things that you want to have. A lot of us get that twisted. Man, when I become a millionaire, I'm going to start doing the things that millionaires do. And wrong answer. You will never become a millionaire by doing the actions of millionaires. You have to first become internally a millionaire. You have to first develop a millionaire consciousness. You have to first develop success consciousness. You have to become first. Then you begin to do the things that millionaires do in order to have the things that millionaires have. We say success begins in the mind. Wealth begins in the mind. You develop a success consciousness. You develop a wealth consciousness. You become wealthy mentally first, inwardly first. Then you start doing the things that wealthy people do. And then it's just a matter of time before you manifest the things that wealthy people have. Hopefully this is starting to make some sense to you guys. These are mental laws, the laws that govern the unseen world. And I'm giving them to you out of this book right here, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Some of you guys may not know the story behind this book. The great Napoleon Hill, the author of the original Think and Grow Rich book, was 100 pages into a manuscript that was going to be the sequel to that book, where this time he focused on wealthy Black people. And he's going to put out the sequel to getting this information to wealthy Black people. His foundation allowed Dr. Dennis Kimbro to use that manuscript to produce this book, right? A Black Choice. And it's not that we have anything against any other cultures or races, but we just think differently. So we have to start to develop things that speak specifically to us based on who we are, what we've gone through, and where we're trying to go, and the obstacles that we know we're going to have to overcome. But understand that all of these laws are scriptural as well. All of these laws can be backed by scripture as well. So law number 4, the law of correspondence. You have to be first, then you can do, then you can have. Success is an internal job. Building wealth is an inside job. You can't look to outside forces. You have to do this thing internally. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. You have to be first, then you do, then you have. Now, I study wealthy people not so that I can do the actions that they're doing, that so I can understand the unseen mental laws that they are putting into practice, so I can do those things and get those things in my spirit, so I become that, so then I can do the actions with the right motive and the right intentions, and then that later will get me to have the things that I want to have. So mental law number 4 is the law of correspondence. Everything happens within first, then without. You have to become so that you can do and so that you can have. Point blank, period. We're going to do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do law number 6, which this is also a good one, is the law of substitution. The law of substitution. Now, here is where one of the mental laws and physical laws collide. This is where one of the mental laws and the physical laws merge, because there's a physical law that says no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. And here's what the law of substitution says, the mental law. When negative thoughts creep into your subconscious, immediately begin to replace them with those that are more positive. Though you may not be able to control the circumstances that surface in your life, you are able, however, to control your response to those circumstances. You will find a direct relationship between your level of control and your ability to effectively use this law. So it says this, the law is this: there is no a negative thought and a positive thought cannot occupy the same space in your brain. Your subconscious mind can only hold one thought at a time. So every time negative thoughts creep up, you have to immediately substitute. That's why it's a law of substitution, with a thought that is more positive. Substitute those laws, those thoughts, with thoughts that are more positive. You can't think a positive and negative thought at the same time. So when you find yourself going down a negative path, then you have to reel yourself back in and substitute that negative thought with a positive thought. And this goes back to the law of use it or lose it, and the law of correspondence. You have to make these things, you have to exercise these things, right? It's not going to be easy. If you are a negative thinking person and you've been a negative thinking person all your life, you're going to have to practice substituting all the time until it becomes a habit that you start thinking positive. It's going to take actual physical thought and effort and energy for you to make this switch. You can literally think negative thoughts, and that's okay. A lot of times we put a lot of negative garbage in our head. We read negative books, we watch negative TV, we listen to negative radio, we listen to negative friends. That will cause us to have more of a negative thought process, because we're in negative environments all the time. But if you want to transition that, you're going to have to start substituting. You're going to have to start substituting those negative thought patterns for positive thought patterns. And you have to exercise, and you have to practice this all the time. You can't just do it once and then think all of a sudden you're going to become a positive person. No, this has to be your practice. And when you understand that your thought processes are responsible for your conditions, then you'll start taking a serious look at how you're thinking all the time. right? I look at my conditions today and I realize fully that my conditions that I'm currently existing in were created by my thoughts of a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If I don't want these conditions to persist, then I have to change the thought process today so that I can create a different existence for tomorrow. But again, if you don't understand these mental laws and you don't start practicing applying these mental laws with intention, then you will let these mental laws operate in your life on default, because they are always in operation, right? But you have to start controlling them so you can dictate the outcomes that you want. These mental laws are always in operation, but you have to start aiming them so that you can dictate the outcomes that you want in your life. So the law of as a man thinketh, it's always working. You're always thinking something. You're always getting what you're focusing on. So I'm telling you that if you want to change the things that you are getting out of this life, the people you're attracting into your life, the things you're attracting into your life, the outcomes and conditions that you are creating, you have to first change the way you think. So you have to be conscious all the time of the things you're thinking. One of the easiest ways to change the way you think is to change the people you associate with, the places you go, and the books you read. One of the easiest ways to change the way you think is to change what goes in here. Change the people you associate with, change the books you read, and the places you go. The things you watch on TV, that's why it's called programming. What are you programming yourself with by way of radio and TV? It's the easiest way to change your conditions is by first changing your thought process. The way you change your thought process is you change the people, the places, and the books you read, period. Right? Second law of cause and effect. Know that the way you think today is creating a condition that you're going to have to deal with tomorrow. The way that you're thinking today is going to create a condition that you're going to have to deal with tomorrow. Do you want to deal with, well, what kind of conditions do you want to be living in tomorrow? Your thoughts are the cause, your conditions are the effect. Are you living in the conditions that you desire? If not, you have to go back and change the way you think now so that your future conditions can be what you want them to be. Law number 3, use it or lose it. Use it or lose it, right? Do you have the ability to make sound decisions? If you're not practicing that all the time, if you're not using that all the time, you will lose that ability. If you are not using your determination, if you at one point in your life, you were really determined, you were really driven to success, and then all of a sudden you're not, and you're not using that, you're not exercising that drive and that determination, you will lose it. I've seen it happen. People who are extremely motivated, and now they're not. People who are go-getters or barely going to the couch, right? So you have to use it or you'll lose it. The same way your muscles atrophy, the same way these spiritual gifts will atrophy, right? Law number 4, the law of correspondence. Everything in your physical world is a direct correspondence, is in direct correspondence to the things that's going on inside you. Everything that's existing in your physical reality is in direct correspondence to the things that are going on inside you. That's why they say your perception is reality. That is so true. How you see the world is your reality. And if you don't like what you see, change your perception. Change how you see it. Sometimes you can't change what you see, but you can always change how you see it. You can't always change what you see, but you can change how you see it. You can change your perspective of it. Everything that's going on in your life is in direct correspondence to the things that are going on in your life, right? First within, then without. You have to be so that you can do, then you can have. You have to be so you can do, then you can have. Right? Who are you becoming today? Right? If you're saying that you want to be wealthy, then you have to become a wealthy person on the inside first, which will lead you to do the things that wealthy people do, which will cause you to have and manifest the things that wealthy people have. That's how this thing works, guys. These mental laws govern the unseen. And it is the things that are taking place in the unseen that become manifest into reality. So if you're not conscious of these mental laws, they're operating in your life on default. I don't want anything operating in my life on default because I don't know who created the default setting. You guys get that? I don't want anything operating in my life on default because oftentimes I don't know who positioned that default setting. I want to control that default setting. So I operate these laws with intention. Law number 5, the law of substitution. This is the last one for today, and then we'll wrap up tomorrow with the last 3. The law of substitution. The laws of physics says no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. Same way with your mind. No two thoughts can occupy the same space in your mind at the same time. So in order to get yourself out of a negative thought process or a negative thought pattern, then you have to substitute those with positive thought patterns. No two thoughts can occupy the same space at the same time in your mind. If you're going to change those thought processes, you can't just say, I'm going to stop thinking negative and not replace it with anything. You actually have to replace that thought process with something else, right? There's a passage in the Bible that speaks to a man getting rid of unclean spirits from his body, and he swept it clean and left that space empty. He didn't replace it with the Spirit of God. He didn't replace it with positive spirits. He left it clean. And because he left that space empty, what happens? That spirit came back with more of his homeboys and partners, right? So when you empty your mind of negative thinking, you have to replace it with positive thinking, or else you open the door for the negative thinking to come back with a vengeance. No two thoughts can occupy the same space in your mind at the same time. If you have a negative thought process or a thought pattern, substitute it with positive thinking and make that a habit. And that's how you become a positive person. You become a positive person by changing who you associate with, the books you read, and the places you go. You stretch and grow your mind by constantly feeding it new information all the time. If you are constantly reading the same books, right? I know ladies who read the same books. Now, they're by different authors and the characters have different names, but they're the same books, romance novels, right? Or those urban tales that they're into now, the Zane book series. Different books, maybe different authors, but the same stuff. So you're not stretching and growing your brain because you're putting the same stuff in, right? You have to stretch and grow your brain by constantly putting in new information. And one of the ways you put in new information is by having conversations with people who are different. See, we tend to not even want to converse with people who we disagree with. And it's in those disagreements, it's in you having conversations with people who are on the other end of the spectrum that causes you to grow. We tend to not want to go into new situations or new places because that causes a level of discomfort. I'm gonna tell you, like I tell you all the time on this show, man, there's an extreme amount of safety and there's an extreme amount of security inside your comfort zone. But the problem with the comfort zone is this: nothing ever grows there. You guys get that? The problem with the comfort zone is nothing ever grows there. So yes, you can be safe and secure in your comfort zone, but you're not growing. There's only 2 states of existence on this planet. You're either growing or you're dying. Period. There's no in between. You're either growing or you're dying. There's nothing in between. And if you're not constantly feeding yourself new information so that your brain creates these new neural connections and all of that kind of stuff, then you are literally dying. There's no such thing as standing still on a planet that is constantly moving. See, when you're stationary, time is still moving. You're not standing still, you're actually falling backwards. Some of you guys are going to get that. There's no such thing as standing still on a world that is constantly moving. So in your standing still, you're actually sliding backwards. Got to understand that. So these are the mental laws that govern the unseen world, and these are the mental laws that actually dictate success or failure. These laws actually determine success or failure. These are the laws that you must abide by, or if they're operating in your life in default, it is the reason that you are experiencing the current existence that you are in. This is why you have the current existence, because of these mental laws. So instead of letting these laws operate on default, because I don't know who hit that default switch, and I don't know, I don't have control, so I don't operate on default. I operate with full intention, right? I want to control as much as I can when it comes to these mental laws. I want to control my thought process because I know my thoughts are the cause and my condition are the effect. So if I can control the thoughts, I can control the conditions or the effect. Right? I want to use my gifts that I've been blessed with, my gifts to speak, my gift to make decisions, my gift to judge character, my gift to be passionate, my gift to have determination and drive, my gift of discipline. If I don't use that stuff, I lose that stuff. Right? I want to use the law of correspondence with an intention. I want to intentionally build the inward me in a certain way so that the outward me, everything on the outside of me, can be just the way I want it. So I want to use that. I want to intentionally pour inward so that I can express that outwardly. Right? And then I want to intentionally use the law of substitution. When I have negative thoughts, I'm going to intentionally substitute those with positive thoughts, because I know the thoughts are the cause and the effect or the conditions, or the conditions are the effects. So I have to be extremely conscious of my thought process, my thought patterns. These are the laws that govern the unseen, guys. So if you want to have success, you have to start putting these things in place and intentionally being aware of these laws and how they're working in your life, and if they're working for you or if they're working against you. And if they're working against you, you need to make adjustments right away. Right? So sorry about all the confusion on today's show. I don't know if Facebook is going to allow me to go live on my primary profile that I normally go live on this show, which is my Cortez Springer profile. You guys on Facebook, you're watching me on my Hernando Cortez Springer profile, right? But my Cortez Springer profile is where I traditionally go live with this show every morning, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you haven't friended me on my Cortez Springer profile, go ahead and send me a friend request over there. And if you're I will try to be back to normal tomorrow, but who knows, man? I don't own and control these platforms, and that's one thing that I don't like. I like to own and control, right? Because you don't have to worry about these sorts of snafus. So hopefully we're back to normal tomorrow. Today's show is brought to you by the Black Real Estate School. If you want to know more about investing into real estate and you want a coach or a mentor, you want to go into a online school environment where you're going to be coached, mentored, and trained by successful real estate investors, go to blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com. blackrealestate.financialhealthmentor.com to learn more about the Black Real Estate School and see if that's a good fit for you. So I need a one-on-one with you. It's all good, Black James. Just give me a call, 314-874-6887. 314-874-6887. The show is also brought to you by Project 1000. It is my mission to help 1,000 families minimize taxes, eliminate debt, and learn how to invest wholesale in 2017. I want to help you build wealth, because if I can help you get your money right as an individual, and I can help enough people do that, then we can collectively get our money right as a community. If I can help you get your money right as an individual, we can then collectively get our money right as a community. And you can't get your money right when you're overtaxed, drowning in debt, and you're not accumulating any assets. Guys, that's all building wealth is about. Wealthy people do not pay a dime more in taxes than they absolutely have to. Wealthy people do not have personal debt. They understand how to leverage other people's money to buy assets. And wealthy people are really good at investing in income producing assets. I want to help 1,000 families 2017 get that done. We're at about 175, 176. We had added 4 families to Project 1000 this week. So I'm super excited to work with some new people, but I'm far from my goal of 1,000, and we're already in the 3rd month. So if you want more information on Project 1000, comment Project 1000 in the comments below, or you can go send me a private message, or you can go to my website, hcortezthornton.com, and click on the Project 1000 tab to get more information. So with that, we're going to wrap up. I appreciate you guys staying with me through the snafus and all that kind of stuff. I think we had a successful show. It looks like you guys really enjoyed it based on the comments and the feedback. So you're checking out Talking Money in the Morning with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my best to bring practical, proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.